Many mistakes tenants make in Nigeria when signing a tenancy agreement is that they sign the tenancy agreement without reading sale, which means they don't understand what the tenancy agreement entails. So it is important for you to read the tenancy agreement before signing sale. If you feel you may not be able to understand what the tenancy agreement entails, you can always consult your lawyer who will read, understand, and interpret same to you. And if you are good with the clauses, you can then sign the tenancy agreement. It is important for you to know certain clauses such as who has a responsibility to actually do repairs in the house. Also, issue of notice to quit. Are you entitled to 6 months or 3 months or 2 days notice to quit? You'll need to understand all of that in the tenancy agreement before you sign sale. That being said, in this video I want to share 5 rights you have as a tenant in Nigeria. It is very important for you to watch this video till the end. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mary and I'm a practicing lawyer in Nigeria. As well, I am a real estate consultant. On this YouTube channel, I share a lot of good content to educate the public. I share videos for laymen and I also share videos for lawyers. If you're watching my video for the very first time, if you're seeing my beautiful face for the very first time, please do want to click on the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you're a returning subscriber, I do appreciate you. Thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. You mean so much to me. Thank you so much. So without further ado, let's dive into it. 5 rights you have as a tenant in Nigeria. Number 1, you have a right to a written tenancy agreement. Gone are the days when you make an agreement orally because it is difficult to prove. Although it is very valid in law, but how do you prove that you have an agreement with someone that you are entitled to 6-month notice? It will be very difficult for you to prove. Though the law can actually imply that since you are you pay your rent annually, you are entitled to 6-month notice. But for you to prove that that was the agreement you had with your landlord, it will be difficult. So if your tenants, you're watching this video, before you pay that rent, talk to the landlord that you're entitled to a tenancy agreement, that you want it to be put in black and white. It is very important. So as a tenant, you have the right to request for a tenancy agreement. Although that charge, that is the charge for the legal fee for a lawyer to actually draft a tenancy agreement, you will have to be the one to, most often in Nigeria, tenants are always the one to bear that cost, okay? So but make sure that you demand for a tenancy agreement. It is very important. Number 2, you are entitled to exclusive possession. Exclusive ownership belongs to the landlord, who is the owner of the property. But exclusive possession, ownership belongs to the landlord, possession belongs to you, which means you have a right to privacy. Your landlord cannot just walk into your apartment without notice. The landlord can always come to check, to inspect, to make some repair or send a third party, but you're entitled to a notice, okay? It is very important because you have a family, or even if you're staying alone, the landlord need to accord you some respect. So you have exclusive possession, which means the landlord must take permission before he or she enter that demised premises, that is the rented apartment. So you have a right to exclusive possession. Number 3, you have a right to notice to quit. It is important. There is nothing like forceful eviction in Nigeria. No landlord can just wake up one morning and throw out your belongings because they want you out of the house, probably because you're owing, or maybe you're being rude, or you are entitled to a notice to. Even when you are a tenant you are still entitled to a notice, okay? It is very important. You are entitled to a notice. So when your landlord says, Mr. A, I want you out of my property, you can always demand that, can you just make this formally? Can you come up with a notice to quit and give me some time within which I can always look for another apartment and move out of the house? 3, you have a right to habitable premises. It is important that when the property is actually in good shape, okay? It is very important. Just like in the recent news, I think in Jos in Nigeria now, that there are certain places that are actually being flooded, okay? When that happens, you can always meet with your landlord. It is possible if you can give you a refund, or if you have used more than probably you are an annual tenant and you've used more than 6 7 months, in that situation a refund may not be possible. But it is actually the right, the duty of the landlord to actually make sure that premises is habitable. Okay, since you're paying for something, the place must be habitable. It's either it is for residential or commercial. It is important that that place is actually in a good shape. So if any act of if anything happen, probably like flood or anything at all that make the place inhabitable, you can always talk to the landlord to put that place in shape. It is not your right to do that, except if you and the landlord have an agreement prior to that period about issues like that. But if there is none, it's actually the right, the duty of the landlord to make sure the apartment is actually in good shape, to make sure it is habitable. And number 5, which is the last right I'll be mentioning in this video, is that you have a right, you are entitled to 7 days notice of owner's intention to recover possession. According to the law, you're actually entitled to, the first step is if the landlord wants you out of the premises, the first step is to actually give you a notice to quit. And after that, the expiration of that, if you're still in that premises, you're entitled to 7 days owner's intention to recover possession. Okay, so that is the second stage before the person can actually now go to court if you still refuse after the expiration of that 7 days. So make sure that if you don't have enough time, you can always talk to your landlord about it, and if it's still within that 7 days, you can make use of that 7 days period to look for another apartment. I hope this video educates you. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section, and I will see you in another video.